That's the origin of CAP. I'm going to look this up. I'm going to look.
There's a principle that
Right.
we have to follow.
Yeah.
We have to have.
Be true to yourself. You don't have.
And when I came back, the place was a mess. So I knew I was missed.
Deep in here now. Now
It's
deep.
incredible.
I
love it.
Me
That's
too.
good.
Yeah.
That's good.
And applying the recovery, I thought. I'm bringing more of them.
Good afternoon, Richmond, Virginia. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the McShin Foundation's Getting Her podcast. Before we get started, want to give a shout out to our sponsors. First, the Seed Institute. Thank you, Monique. The Seed Institute. They are a locally minority-owned organization that specializes in helping individuals with startup of LLCs and with training. So if you're interested in any of those, give them a call, 804-939-0541. And then we would like to give a special thanks to the Rooted Hair Studios. Rooted Hair Studios is located in Colonial Heights, Virginia. They are a local owned hair salon. If you want to get your hair did, give them a call. Come out, give them a call. And also check this out. If you mention McShin, you get 10% off. Code McShin gets you 10% off. So those highlights cost a lot of money, those haircuts. You get 10% off if you mention code McShin. So give them a call, Rooted Hair Studio, 804-919-3851.
Great local business.
And yes,
support our local businesses.
I feel like I hear one of y'all breathing in my ear. And then we want to give a shout out to the Farley Center. Which one is it?
I'm holding my breath.
I literally am holding my breath.
Farley Center, a local treatment center, located in Williamsburg, Virginia. They're a great, awesome treatment center. I've met their CEO. She's awesome. I happen to know
You might know her.
Kind of like the intake.
I happen to know the
might know her.
liaison. They have a special name in the treatment world for these individuals. But if you give her a call, Kelly Eason, 804-638-7329. She'll get you set up. She is a resource broker, so just give her a call. But the Farley Center is a treatment center with a detox. They specialize on substance use disorder, and they take commercial insurances. Thank you to all our sponsors. We love y'all. Thank you very much. And now let's get into what we got going on. All right, so I got two wonderful people here. Monique over here. Monique, give us your little intro, your little hey, your whatever you want.
Hello. So I am Monique. I'm the community engagement coordinator here at the McShin Foundation. I'm also a state certified peer recovery specialist. And I'm also a proud alumni. I went through this program, stayed in the housing for 20 very long months. And, 20. Now 20. It was so long. It was like they had to kick me out, literally. And, finally I'm here. I'm able to still make a difference. So I'm really excited about this.
Yeah, now she's got her own apartment.
I have my own
paying
apartment.
Lots of bills.
Paying so many bills. No one told me that being an adult is this scary. And also, no one told me that being in recovery could be this scary.
Scary, fun, hard, easy, all of it. Well, a good transition from you, because Monique has her own apartment. Now we'll transition over here to Travis, who does not have his own apartment.
And Travis is about to move into his own apartment. Travis is also being pushed out.
Don't rush it now.
But I heard words I had never heard about. What are these bills you speak of? What are these things?
Oh my God, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. I don't want the responsibilities.
Nobody does. I'm excited to get into this, man. Anytime I got Monique and Jesse, I know the conversation is going to be interesting. It's going to be recovery based. It's going to be all pathway based, and hopefully somebody catches something and hears something that might, be a tool for them or a little help for them out there in the world.
Why don't you introduce yourself so the people? Not everybody out there knows you. A lot of people do know you.
Everybody
You're
knows
very popular,
me.
but not everybody.
Everybody knows
Everyone.
me. If you know me, if you don't know me, then where have you been? What rock are you hiding under? I'm Travis. I am a staff member here at McShin. I'm a peer recovery specialist and a reentry specialist, helping people on the other side when they get out of jail, help them to, maybe get a little footing under them, maybe show them, a couple tricks, help them to avoid a couple pitfalls just through my own experience, because I've been through that myself. And that's pretty much what I do around here.
and AKA your favorite Martian.
Oh my!
love that.
Your
Love
favorite
that.
Martian.
You know what,
Here on
Jesse?
Earth.
You need to do your own intro.
Mm.
What does Jesse, the CEO,
Hello,
do here?
hello, VA. I mean, come on, bro.
Intro, good
He's got the best intro in the business.
Yeah.
Hello.
And then Steve, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hey there, I'm Steve. I'm actually a real person over here.
Mhm. And a Gen
Changed-
Xer.
a Gen
He's not a
Xer.
Martian.
Not a Martian.
Oh, he's definitely on the spaceship.
I'm a Saturnian, I guess.
All right, Steve. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. And I'm Jesse Wysocki, Chief Operating Officer here at the McShin Foundation. I'm also a certified peer recovery specialist with the state of Virginia, a trainer as well. We do a lot of trainings here, and those are what we call credentials. And I'm also a
I mean,
person.
technically, I'm a trainer too.
You are. Yeah, you do a wonderful training, DEIJ training.
Give her a pat on the back. She's looking for
NADAC
Oh my
approved.
God.
Yeah. So hey, we're actually getting ready to do one here shortly. We'll start advertising some of that stuff in some of our podcasts coming up. I'm also all of us here are in recovery ourselves. We're all in long-term recovery. I'm actually getting ready, y'all.
As a matter of fact, don't
You're
even
about to
say it.
celebrate
Jesse
what?
will be
11 years.
12.
12 years.
12 years.
Oh my
Jesse's celebrating
gosh.
12 years. This
12.
coming January.
It's
12
so
years. And
crazy
I have-
to me to think of double digits.
Yeah, and look, I have a surprise for you, Monique. Since we're here, I wanted you to come speak at my anniversary as well. So it's gonna actually you'll speak, and Travis is speaking as well.
Why would he do this?
I say yes immediately.
I know that you would say yes immediately.
But you're not gonna say yes.
I mean, I'm
immediately?
gonna say yes, but
Do you
It's
still?
I feel
it's
like
just-
I
just-
feel like
I mean, we were just talking about.
I know,
like,
but I
this
feel
is
like
great.
you wouldn't
you
actually-
speaking.
I feel like you wouldn't actually ask me that in real life. I feel like it's because we're on the podcast.
Oh no
right
no
now.
no no no! I was already planning on asking you.
Mm.
Yeah, definitely. It just the timing is right now.
I mean, but
I usually always have a man and a woman.
Are you scared?
Yes.
Of
Yeah.
public
And
speaking.
it's not. My pathway
It's
isn't
changing.
truly NA.
I mean, but
not.
you
I still have a sponsor. I got a new
you
sponsor.
still go to meetings.
No,
You're
I
a
don't.
multiple
You-
pathway.
You stop going to your home group.
I don't go to my NA home group. My home group is now a faith-based home group.
Yeah, it's still a home group.
I still think you can give a good message.
Yeah.
I'm scared.
It's not a big meeting.
What meeting do you?
It's not a
what's-
big
what-
meeting.
What's your
raw?
home group?
It's raw recovery.
Raw. It's a big meeting.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
on Saturday or Wednesday.
Saturday. It'll be Saturday.
Oh.
Everybody
Yeah.
watching here and listening, listen to the nervousness already, the setting in, the doubt. I mean, that's
But
good
just
to have those feelings.
So
Though.
you know it's going to be the 13th of January.
Mhm.
All right, both of y'all.
I'm
13th
nervous
of
too, but I'm going to
January.
go in there and drop
Thank y'all.
flames of
I
fire.
know
Um,
you're gonna drop it because you drop it like it's
Mm. And plus-
I've seen him fumble the.
Yeah,
fumble the
only when
ball.
I think about it. But under these conditions where I'm representing and honoring somebody that means so much to me,
I know, but it's easy to talk about the
Oh.
person, but you don't want to just talk about the
I'm
person.
not. But I mean,
So
in his
Jesse,
honor,
Jesse,
You're going to share
Jesse,
your story.
I'm going to
Jesse,
drop
Sure.
it like it's hot.
No, what do you want me to share on? Not my story. You know that.
You don't want to know until
don't think
5
that
minutes
that-
before
You
you're
want me to
going
give-
in.
I'll give you a topic.
Yeah.
I'll give you a topic.
You give me
Yeah.
a topic, I'm going off course. I'm just letting you know that now. I'm more of a freestyler, but you can give me a topic anyway.
I mean, we don't have to, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
We'll get to that. Thank y'all.
And
both.
these are how
that
these
is
things
very
go
much
down,
an
by the way.
honor. I don't think that people understand that. That's very much an honor. Even if that's
I'm
not
ex-
your pathway, that's very much an honor.
I mean, it kind you it kind
no,
of still is.
no, it still
Yeah.
is. I'm saying even if someone hearing this, like if people ask you to talk about your recovery or ask you to speak on something, even if that's not your pathway, it's such an honor.
It is.
'Cause it's
I'm excited to hear both of y'all share. I really am. Been y'all Monique, you've been a part of my journey now for a couple
almost
years.
3 years
Yeah,
now.
and Travis, we've known each other since we were little
Little
whippersnappers. So I'm excited. So, but that brings us to what I think y'all had a great topic y'all were talking about before I came in. And I'd love to dive into that. Y'all were talking about pathways. Was that what we were talking about? Right?
Grant.
Pathways to recovery.
Yeah,
Is that
we were.
kind of
Yeah,
what-
we were talking about multiple pathways and how your pathway is like your tool for getting through what could be like particularly difficult times. Like I mean, we're going through the holidays right now. I mean, we're towards the back end of the holiday season, and we had Thanksgiving and Christmas. We got New Year's coming up, and to me now. In recovery, like I mean, they're just another day to me. If somebody celebrates them, then then I try to, reciprocate the
Wait, wait,
celebration.
so there's another day for
You
you?
don't-
Most holidays?
Yeah, I mean, we
cap.
got
That's
New
Year's
cap.
Eve coming up.
Jesse, that's cap.
Yeah, I know.
We got New Year's Eve
I'm
coming up.
saying, but it's just another day.
Yeah, they're just other days to me, like Christmas. Like, I don't want to go into it like theologically or anything like that, but like I totally wouldn't celebrate it at all. Like, the only reason that I went and bought gifts this year is because people bought gifts for me. Like, I'm more of a gifter all throughout the year. Like, I like to get somebody if they mean something to me.
But those days, right?
Those
Those
particular
days that are popular, like everyone and their moms is celebrating,
Yeah,
right? So you're telling me
yeah.
you don't feel any difference
No,
between those days and any
not
other
not
days?
not one day.
Really?
You've never
Not at
felt
all.
out. You've never felt left out.
That-
You've never felt lonely.
Now
You've
listen.
never-
This
I like that,
this
because
is where it has shifted. And yes, there was times that I used to feel like that because I felt like an outcast on the inside anyway,
but
and that I couldn't be a
because
part
of a holiday.
No, I felt like it all year around, but particularly when my family was gathered, like I was always invited, but I still felt like an outcast anyway. And like, so like if Christmas is celebrated for like a certain religious purpose, then like no, I don't celebrate it for that because I don't have that belief in that day. And also like I don't buy into the consumerism of it. So it takes the joy. So no, I can absolutely
No,
say without cap
Travis,
that I do not
Travis,
celebrate
Why
it.
do
I'm
you get
not,
so
I'm
mad?
not talking
No, I'm
about,
just- I was
first
just
of
making a
all,
point.
you're getting very
Yeah.
upset.
No, I'm not.
Okay, what I'm talking about is more of not the religious aspect,
Yeah.
not more of the tradition aspect. It's more about feeling a part of. So, like during the holiday season, I have times and moments where I might feel alone or vulnerable, even if like I might not celebrate something, right? I might be of a different religion and I don't celebrate.
Does it have to be a
Christmas.
particular day for that?
But what we're talking about, right, is getting people through those difficult days.
Yeah, we are. Well, you
So-
asked me personally. Like I
Well-
said, personally, it doesn't affect me, but I can see where it would have because I get the alone feeling.
Right.
And these are times of gathering. So I do have the understanding of that. And I can see where like if you weren't like where you were supposed to be, or like if you were living a certain way and for a particular reason you were like shunned or outcast and isolated, I could see where it would be very effectual there because these are times of gathering.
Well, let me so Travis, if we were going off what you're saying about yourself, then you might not be the best one to
Right.
talk about the topic that we have.
Yeah.
If it's just another day to you, which I don't think it's just another day to you. I think
I
that's
don't
just
think
I
so
think that's
either.
just and I think that's just the onion of you, Trav.
That's
And
the
it's all right.
max.
Yeah, it's okay. We have those, right? And I get what you're saying though, because it is, to me, it's just another day, but it still becomes more than just another day, right? Man, I like it. Because not every day do I get to see all my family, right? Not every day do I get
didn't
to,
even used to get invited.
yeah, not every day do I get to like do I really legitimately go buy gifts for people every day? No, that's not what I do right now. I am a giver, but I'm not buying. I spent freaking over $500 on Cam, Cadence, and Luna each, right? That's what me and Kelly did. Like we spend, but it was partially because of the things that happened to me growing up. Like Christmas was terrible for me. Like I never got the gifts that I wanted. Even as an adult and using, like I remember, man, one of the worst Christmases I had, one of the worst times I ever had Christmas when I was using, right, is my family had shunned me. I had nowhere to go, and guess where I ended up?
Where?
At your house.
Yeah.
I remember
Ah.
I ended up at him and his girlfriend's house. Yeah, this girl named Kim. She watches this. Shout out to Kim. She's
What's
a
up,
great.
Kim?
Shout out, Kim.
Kim's awesome. She's great. They invited me over. They let me stay at the house. They fed me. They made sure I was all right, and they loved on me. And that's what
And
I
that
feel.
meant so much
Yeah,
to you.
yeah, man. I'll never forget that because it was one of the most worst down moments on me, particularly during the like I was like on the verge of like suicide. Like I hated my life at that moment. Like
I do remember that.
everybody, and I remember just crying the blues, and like they loved on me, right? And so Trav, I get it. Yeah, it's just another day, but it also
This has been
becomes-
like an evolution for me,
Yeah.
and I do, and it and if I'm just coming from my honest face, it's really usually more of the people that are around me. I see it's
Right.
important for them, but like I was just trying to be honest about like it really is, but like
But it's not about the
Yeah.
gifts, right?
not the gifts.
It's
you're
more
right.
about like I literally like the past 2 Christmases for the first time in double digit years, right? I've been invited to my parents' house, right? Now, I didn't get a key until this past year, and I still got that key taken back because it's not like you can just come and go as you please.
Old pastor took
But
it
it
back, huh?
felt
Let me get that key
so
back.
good to me to be like, oh my God, I get to actually participate in Christmas, whether or not I believe in it. And also, like, I was always, once I took a step back, I was always the one causing so much chaos.
Yeah.
I never realized that in active addiction. I always thought that things were happening to me.
Mm.
So now, coming, a couple years later, I'm like, man, like, really, it's not that bad. I
Yeah.
created a lot of this chaos, and I'm just blessed to even be able to be part of it now.
Yeah.
And it's just such a different feeling. Like, yes, am I upset that I'm so broke? And I'm not gonna
Yeah,
lie,
right.
this is the first Christmas that I've actually partaken in like 8 years. And I mean, I'm hurting still. I didn't partake last year or the year before that because I was taking care of stuff for me. And yes, that might have seemed selfish, but those were things that I needed to do to build myself back up. And like this year, I'm like, okay, yes, it might be like little things, but I'm,
Participation.
You ever seen those? There was these quotes that they had for like kids, like somebody was asking kids questions, and it was like ages from like 4 to 9 or 4 to 10, and it was like questions like, what does love mean to you, or what is love,
what
or
is love?
yeah, or like what is
Baby.
friendship, and like one of the questions was like what does love look like to you, and one of the kids, I think it was like a 5-year-old, answered and said, love is waking up on Christmas morning and listening to the sound of gifts being opened up from my family. And I was like, wow, man, that kid, like, really, because and I get it, it's just another day, right? I get what you're saying, but like, man, ain't nothing like that. And now it's like it's gone from like what you're talking about, where like, so I was never invited, or if I was invited, it was like, okay, make sure we hide our purses.
Right.
My mom used to like lock her purse up, my sister, all that, went from that to like to being invited to being able to be the one to open up the house like for everybody to come. So like now I always want to invite everybody, and my wife,
And you do.
yeah, and I want everybody, anybody I care about that,
Yeah.
not everybody, but people that I care about that I'm sure enough, jive with. I want them to be at my house. Come by my house. You don't got to stay, but just come by. Like during the holidays, come by. Let's hang out. Let's just spend a little bit of time together. Because I just don't. You don't do that every day.
Do you realize how big that is, though, that you do that? I don't know if you realize that, because I think that it's so normal for you, especially during Thanksgiving, that you just have people come over, and I don't think that you realize how big of a deal it is that you tell people that they can come over. They feel like they're invited over, and they feel like they're wanted.
Yeah.
And
I just know it's my favorite time because I love that. I love, that's what I love about that day.
I can see that.
It's not just any other day, Travis. And
well, I would love to come over to
You know
Jesse's
that.
and hang with his. I'm telling you, like, if I don't have an
You don't come
emotional
hang? What is it? Hold on,
attachment,
what you
I
getting ready to
wasn't
say?
invited for Christmas either. But like, I don't have like it was neither here nor there to me. Like I
You-
worked
but hold on,
and I
you
was
worked.
fine,
You had to work.
but because I didn't,
You had to
I
work,
wasn't
bro.
affected. Because I know I can go over Jesse's anytime and hang out, and that's like a byproduct of
Okay,
being
why
But hold
are
on, you
we
don't, though.
doing a competition right now?
But you don't come over to my house and hang out, though.
No, I came over for Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
but the door's open.
Yeah, but so talking about this, like how do we get through these tough times though? Because you know what, man, think about this though, the people that are locked up, right? Because now, so you say it's just another day. Now,
They don't have
a
choice.
When I was locked
You know
up,
what?
man, like I
got
used to, man, because I spent a lot of holidays incarcerated,
Me
like
also.
a lot, right?
Me
and
also.
and it didn't feel like just another day. We made it try to seem like it was just another day, but it didn't, because we knew what was going on. Families getting together, gifts are being passed out, or everybody's coming over for Thanksgiving, or everybody's partying for New Year's, whatever it was, and I'm freaking locked up in here. And then if you got kids or if you got siblings,
I think that changes the game right
man.
there.
Yeah,
that
man.
changes
It's
the
like,
game immensely.
gosh, man, I was, because I remember I was like the worst. That was the worst feeling, man. So I know y'all are sitting there and you're struggling with it. If you suffer from the illness that we suffer from, which, is substance use disorder. And that's usually what put us behind bars or put us, in treatment, right? What I would tell you is, use that pain that you might be feeling, right? Don't use, because you can use in prisons and jails, right? You can use in treatment centers, don't use, but use that as the motivating factor to try to do something different, maybe get connected with us when you get out. If if you're interested, come by McShin, come check out the center. If you get out for the New Year's thing, come do that, because that right there, man, that's the one thing that I don't think about. The love is there for me. Like, people love me, man, but I've learned, and I was thinking about this. I was at a meeting last night and I was thinking about it, like, man, the pain I have not forgotten. Right? The pain. There was a new person there that had, like, I don't know, 30 days, and they shared, and like, and they shared with like courage, and that was never me. When I had 30 days, I just kept my mouth
I didn't
shut.
say anything.
Yeah, I kept my mouth shut, acting like I knew what I was doing, and I really didn't. But I remember the pain, and I remember trying to mask it and hide it. And don't forget that pain. Use that pain as a motivator, right?
Can I say something? I didn't mean to be on my phone during
Well, I
this.
knew you were looking something up.
And I was looking something up. And something that has really always got me through difficult times. And when we're talking about trying to get through this new year, right? We're right over there. We're 2 humps over. We got one more hump. Okay, we've done Thanksgiving. We've gotten through Christmas. We've got one more. So you're almost there, right? And I know it's a little off brand, but for me, my pathway is, yes, I still have a sponsor. I still work my NA 12 steps, but I do more faith-based things. And so that helps me with my connection to my higher power. And my version of a higher power is not like this all-abiding God, because if God was one entity, why would it not be a female? So it's we're still working.
Where are we going with this?
We're still working on the no, we're still working on this journey. So I just want to let everyone know. So in First Kings chapter 19, in the Bible, they talk about Elijah. Elijah was so upset. He was running.
Wasn't there 2 Elijahs?
No, there's Elijah and Eliza, but Elijah was the man, the prophet
Okay.
Elijah.
Is
Elijah
Elijah
one of my
was the
favorites.
prophet.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is the one that
Eliza
that
was
just
too.
vanished, right?
Yeah.
Didn't
So
die, right?
Taken
yeah,
up.
he didn't.
Yeah.
Yes, he was
Him
taken
and
up.
Enoch. Yeah.
So Elijah
Yeah,
was
Elijah.
running away, right? Because they were scorching down his town, like trying to find Christians, trying to cast everyone out, right? He ran away like a little bee. And he ran away.
It
And
was
he ran
Jezebel. She was trying to
he
kill all
ran
the prophets.
into a cave. Okay. He ran into the cave and he kept going deeper and deeper into the cave. And the whole way, on his way of running away from the town, he was looking for signs and wonders, looking for signs from God in the fire that's lighting the city up, looking from signs and wonders from the thunder that's like hitting the tree. He's looking for all this. He still runs past all of this, goes into the cave himself. That's what we do as addicts. We run into the cave ourselves, right? We isolate. And then he's searching and searching and searching. God finally says, Elijah, why are you in the cave? Basically, if you don't get your butt and turn yourself around and get out, and starts walking closer and closer and closer to the entrance of the cave. And then finally,
Elijah
God says, Elijah does. And finally, God says, Elijah, go back the way that you came. That
Tells
was
him to
the
go
answer.
back into the cave, or no? Tell him to go out
like
the cave.
go out, like
Oh,
go
okay,
the
okay.
same way.
Yeah,
Go the same way, because that's the only way you're gonna get through it. Is if you
go through it.
go through it, right? It's the
Yeah.
same little NA
Yeah.
sayings that we get, and it's just like a different way of looking at it. And how I looked at it, it's like God doesn't, or our higher power, or whatever's gonna save us is not gonna yell at us. It's gonna always whisper, because it was always right there.
Yeah.
We just had to
Listen right?
to
Yeah.
it.
Open our hearts, open our minds. Listen.
We just had to be open-minded enough to be like, this is okay.
And sometimes there's things that we do, right, that block us from being able to hear that sound, right? This is what I learned in recovery, and this is for people that are incarcerated, right? So if you're trying to hear that sound, you don't got to call it, you don't got to,
You don't
quote
have
it
to
from the
say
Bible,
God.
God, Jesus, but there's something, right? And when it talks to you,
Conscience.
there's things that we do to block it, right? And I'll give you an example, right? And I'm going to use this to talk to people that are incarcerated. So, when you're incarcerated, if you are stealing, from the canteen, if you're beating the deuce, we call it beating the deuce, when you're trying to get 2 trays,
Double up.
right? Double up, right? If you're doing something, it's petty, and I know we locked up, you're trying to
Double
survive,
up.
right?
Never
But-
let a hard time hold us.
Yeah. When you do stuff like that, right? When you call home to one girl, ask her for some money, and then call home to another girl, ask her for some money, and then call and ask mom for some money, right? When
Knowing
you're
they're
doing,
broke.
yeah, and then getting them to send you these monies, you're doing all these things. I remember one time I had 2 girls pop up in the visiting room at the same time.
I did too.
Oh
You
man, it was
did? I did too,
terrible.
dude.
Yeah. They popped up in the visiting room at the same time and almost started
Me
fighting,
too.
man. I ducked down. It was terrible.
I love it.
No. So, but I'm saying this right because when you do stuff like that, you're blocking the sound. You won't hear the sound. It's harder. It's there still. It's just harder
It's always
to hear it.
talking.
Yeah, it's just harder to hear it. And it's the same thing
Mhm.
now that we've transcended. We're out here in the real world. Like we still got to hear that sound that Monique is talking about, right?
Mhm.
We got to hear who talked to Elijah. We got to hear it. And if we're out here driving without a license, stealing from our job, cheating
Why
on our
is
wives,
that?
cheating
Why
on our
do we
husbands.
all in recovery? Why do we all buy a car before we get
Put the
some
cart before the
insurance?
horse, right? Yeah.
Got to get
Why do we
around.
do that?
You can live in the car. You could
Why
call
do
a
we do
car
that?
a mobile home, actually.
I mean, but like we don't have no license.
Yeah.
So do we
oh,
own
you're
the
talking
home?
about
Yeah.
before a license.
Yeah, I mean,
Put
but
the cart
I
everyone
didn't go
does
that
it.
way.
Yeah.
I like the step by step. Like when you decide to do things right, you'll just do them right. But sometimes we jump the gun because what you're talking about is instant gratification. We want what we want when we want it now, and sometimes we hurry up and we skip over some steps.
Yeah, and we'll make every excuse to do it.
That
Oh, man, I can't
noise,
survive
too.
without a license. I can't do this without a car.
What is
or this,
that? That's noise.
Yeah,
to
yeah.
me.
I can't take the bus.
well,
I
it's-
can't. We,
it's-
we don't
yeah.
want to take the hard. We look for the easier, softer way.
And it's all stuff that blocks us from hearing that
Yeah.
voice, right? Hearing that whether it's your conscious, right, the God in you, different religious beliefs believe all kinds of different things. I feel like it's all the same thing. Something
Spirit.
talks to us, right? Spirit, something.
Conscious.
And now there's probably some people that are born without it. Those what Jeffrey
Psychopaths.
Dahmer
And I truly, well, no, I don't think that, but I truly,
That's what they say.
Well, no, because I feel like that's harmful. But I feel like
No,
there
they
are-
say that psychopaths they don't have a conscience.
Yeah, what
That's
they
like a
called? Isn't there
literal
another name, for-
Psychological name.
not a
for it.
psychopath. Like what's the name for
Robot.
No.
Sociopath.
It's like a sociopath,
Yeah.
right? Isn't that
you
somebody
can
that's
be a sociopath without any empathy. You're very
empathy?
apathetic.
That's what I'm like. No
Empathy.
empathy.
You're
right?
apathetic, and you can. But I do feel like at some point, even if you're a sociopath, if you feel connected, you feel connected.
You still feel like there's
you
something.
still feel it. And if you don't, that's what's dangerous. When you don't get that connection, if you have those properties, that's what can lead you.
That's what I
astray.
think. There's some people, and I think
I think the definition of a sociopath is that they don't have those properties, or a psychopath. But I
don't.
don't know. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not. But I get what you're saying, Jesse. And what I love about that is like that like bleeds into Monique was just talking about her faith-based pathway, and what Jesse is talking about is like, and probably all the pathways, but particularly in the one that we're following right now, NA. He's saying like once you start like practicing principles, you hear that voice a little bit easier. You
definitely do. And it doesn't even have to be correlated with NA, just
Yeah.
in life in general,
How
right?
do,
Like
how
when
do
you
y'all
start,
how do you think people, like, let's say participants that come through, right, and then like they're right out of their intensive program and they're searching, everyone's searching.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people are scrambling because they're looking for sponsors because they think they got to do 12-step. What would be the moment that you tell them that they're looking for, like that moment of that aha moment?
Well,
Like, what do they feel?
well, I can tell you, like I guess like you're kind of the moment of clarity, like the
the
moment,
light bulb
Yes.
the
moment.
light bulb. I think those happen a lot of times, and sometimes there's two ways that I found, right? Like I like when we do these, when we have these, because then I can get I can get in
Yeah,
my,
you get
It's
into
like,
I can
it's
get
like this
into
is a
it. Well,
conversation. I like this.
yeah, well, when we do it, like when it's stuff like this, is because it's just it's stuff that saved my life.
Yeah.
Right? So
Mhm.
there's like two things, that we can experience, and some people call them a spiritual experience, and some people call them a spiritual awakening.
Moment of
Right?
clarity.
Yeah, and so the experience is usually like, so if I'm talking to somebody new, like what you're saying, a participant, the experience is just something that, bam, it just happens. Like
Awareness.
whether, well,
Mhm.
it's like I'll give you like an example. Like say you ever heard about those people that like there's an accident. Remember that accident she was talking about?
Yeah.
And they come.
Remember
Somebody,
that accident where there was multiple cars flipped over
Yeah.
into the yard of
oh,
Pasture?
yeah.
And Katie Ritter was right there. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that.
I didn't know she
But
was right. She was right there.
She was right behind
Okay.
it. And
What-
it was like, I could not imagine being that person in the car behind, seeing that happen, and just knowing
no,
that
well, the
certain
ex-
people's lives
yeah.
are gone.
and that, well, the example could be like, for instance, if she was like pulled out right before that car and missed the accident, right? And like somehow something moved her away, right? That's an spiritual experience. Or like somebody is laying in the car, they just got in a car wreck, and like a bright light sees them and lifts them out the car. Like those things happen, whether we believe it or not. Those are the experiences that I'm talking about. Like it's just something
Jarring.
profound happens, right? The awakening is a little different, right? And so the
Mhm.
awakening people confuse with the experience.
Mhm.
The awakening comes over time after we learn some stuff, like after we're doing some work, right? After we sit in a group and listen to somebody, maybe read some literature, and we start to do work, then the spirit starts to awaken a little bit. And see, that happened for me. I never had those spiritual experiences.
So you're saying basically people can have these spiritual experiences, right? That land them in an intensive program.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
And that's
yeah.
what lands
You're
them,
looking
right?
at one right
yeah.
here.
No. But
Yes,
they
yes.
haven't had
An awakening.
An
an
awa- yeah.
awakening yet.
The
Yeah.
awakening takes time.
That takes time.
The,
Yeah.
the awakenings are revealed to you. Like for me personally, I mean, yes, they are done through God, but they came through work. Like I had to read the book, I had to take a suggestion.
Mhm.
Now, like I came all based off a spiritual experience, and that wasn't the end all be all, but it was a good head start for me. But the awakening came when I was made aware through step work and my sponsor, when I was made aware of mask I wore and how to shed them off, and then just shedding them gave me awakened my spirit. That's the way I would define it, because actually, like, it stripped something off of me, but it also brought me closer to my higher power.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
So not one is more important than the
yeah,
other.
no, they're
Mhm.
both great.
Yeah.
And when I found out, like when I first found out, because you were asking, like, how do you, like, the first time I found out there was an awakening of my spirit, I'll never forget it, man. My dad, I think I still might have been living in the Healing Place apartment. No, I think I might have my own apartment. I was working at the Healing Place, and my dad came to visit me, and we went to watch Varina play Highland Springs. We went to this football
Oh,
game.
that's the game of the
Yeah, and
year.
this, I mean, this
That's
think
the
about
game
this
of the
was
year.
this was like 10 years ago. So we go to the football game. We're there. It's jam packed,
Yeah.
and we're walking. And there's this older lady walking in front of me, and she drops $40. She keeps walking. Right now, for me, $40 on the ground, I'm gonna pick it up and put it in my pocket. Right, I picked the $40 up and I ran and I chased her down. This is petty. This is probably petty to anybody listening to this,
it's
right?
not
To me,
petty.
but I
It's
ran-
not petty.
Yeah, and I chased her
It's
down. And I
not
gave her
petty.
a money, and like afterwards, I was like, wow, that was an awakening of my spirit, right? Because like I had did some work and things changed. My results, my actions changed, right? So when you're around here and when you start to notice your actions changing, like when somebody asks you, hey, you got a phone in the house, and you're like, oh, I do. Let me turn it in, right? That's an awakening of the spirit, because you're starting to get, you're starting to become aware, like what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And things start to change.
You're
So things
changing
gotta
and you're
change.
shifting.
Yeah.
And as
Yeah.
soon as you shift from those behaviors, your spirit awakens more and awakens for more like goodness. You almost get thirsty for it.
Yeah, you start to love it. You're like, oh wow, this felt really, really good.
Right.
Yeah, right. This felt
like,
good. Like I want
okay,
more of this. What can I do to
can
be
keep
better?
doing this.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can keep being a good person. Fun fact, Travis, that's how I felt when fun fact, when I was in intensive, I got caught with, on my last week, right? Week 4. I'm about to be out of there. I'm about to be in sober living. I'm good. I still had stuff hidden in my stuff from,
But you had
And
some alcohol in your purse or something? With
I
you?
had multiple.
Yeah, bottles.
No,
Multiple.
no. And it was crazy because
Multiple pathways
actually,
to destruction.
actually, they only found these like
I
cans.
remember that. Yeah, I
They
remember
only
that.
found the cans. They didn't
Yeah.
find the bottle. You know what happened after that happened? And I got on the phone with Jillian. I said, "Did you tell my dad, or can I talk to my dad first?" She said, "I already told him." I said, "Oh my god!" And so I was like, I felt like I was like, if I'm really gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. I already went 4 weeks, almost 4 weeks, without touching any of this stuff, right? So I'm good. Screw it. I said they didn't even find. I went to go look to see if they found the bottle, the liquor bottle. They didn't find the liquor bottle. They just found the little twisted teas and stuff like that. They didn't find the liquor bottle. And
Some
I
Steel
went.
Reserve or something.
Yeah.
I went and
Boone's
took it
Farm.
out. It was not Steel Reserve.
Mad Dog 2020.
It was
Grape.
She tried to
It
say it
was-
was
it was
Twisted Tea because that's
no,
the
no, no,
popular thing.
no,
I'm
no, no.
like-
I swear to God, what
It's
they
twi-
found, they found
think it was
three.
Twisted
No, no, no.
Tea.
They
So what'd
found
you do with
three
it? Did you throw it
Twisted
away? Did you
Teas.
dump it out?
I literally pulled. Okay, so this is what happened. I hid it in the vent, tied up like in the jail, and I had it
Mhm.
down. So you just pull it up. So they didn't find it. So they just found the Twisted Teas. They didn't find the liquor.
I remember the Twisted.
Yeah, so I pulled it up and I put it and I threw it out into the woods. That's like at the women's house, they got woods. So I threw it out there. And that was like my
You just got rid. That was
I'm
that was
not
the
doing
awakening.
it.
I'm done.
not doing
done.
it.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not doing it. And I remember being so upset with myself. And then I called my dad, right? And I was like, bro, I'm gonna be out here for a little bit longer. Like, I don't know, this didn't turn out the way that I thought it was. He had already talked to Jillian, and I was like, I think I can do it. I think I can do it. I'm gonna just give myself a month. And he was like, I just thank God that you didn't drink any of that stuff.
Mm.
Because I know for a fact, honestly, y'all, okay, I'm telling on myself, I had an extra phone in there. They never knew this. I had an extra phone.
This
had
is
an extra phone.
you're all witnessing a
Yeah, I had
spiritual
an
awakening
extra.
right
I
now.
had an extra phone
She's
and an
being honest.
extra credit card in there. Okay, so I bought a plane ticket back to LAX, one way from Richmond to LAX during this, right? And like with the pet fee and everything, I was gonna take. Yeah, I was gonna be gone. And my dad was like, "Are you gonna get on that?" It's like, granted, I didn't realize like this is the same account he has access to. So it's like he's like,
seen it. Yeah.
"Are you gonna get on that?" And I was like, "No, I'm gonna be here, and I'm gonna do 1 month." That's all it took was 1 month, and it was like that one. And he literally told me, he was like, "It's okay that you messed up a little bit."
What about have y'all had any since because over the what do you have 3 years coming up on 3 years
3 years.
3
yeah.
years right
Yeah, weird.
and Trav, you coming up on a year.
Yep, coming up on a year.
And what about like the awakening? So what what about like a behavior that might have changed?
Oh,
Is there any? Do y'all have any of those that pinpoint?
now Jesse, you should already know this.
Well, I know some of both of y'all. I'm just curious.
I
like,
used
share
to
with-
be super aggressive. Okay. I used to be very confrontational, very aggressive. I feel like I'm able to address things now without making it physical. I never brought that to my workplace, but in my personal life, that was still a struggle up until I literally, like, I don't know if I told you this, but I went out to LA right before like my 9 months, and I got in a fight while I was out there.
No, you
It
got
was
in a
over,
fight.
yeah, it was over the principle of it. Because why are you playing with me like that?
You went back to LA and got in a fight
Yeah, I went back to get my hair done.
all the way back to get your hair done.
Yeah,
That was the whole purpose of the trip.
I did. And John Schinholzer literally called my dad and was like, "Your daughter's about to go and use and do all this stuff. She wants to go back to LA and
The whole purpose of the
Get-
trip was to get your
to
hair
get
done.
my hair done." Well, because I only let 2 people ever touch my head after the surgery. So
And so you got in a fight.
and I did. I got
So
in a
when
fight.
did the awakening of the spirit happen?
So
I know. I was waiting for it the last time around.
So look, it happened, right? And it was more of like, why are you disrespecting me like that? So the reason why I got in the fight was because basically someone was playing in my face, like they think just because I changed my life, like I wasn't still gonna be about my business. And so I took personal offense to that, and I felt the need back then, at 9 months, I felt the need to prove that. So it was all about the principle, right? And then afterwards, I remember calling my sponsor and being like, what is wrong with me? I don't
Felt
know
terrible
why.
after you did that.
I cannot, I don't think that that's the answer. It shouldn't be the answer. And literally my sponsor was like, well, violence was never really my thing. I think maybe you should get some therapy. And then I started getting therapy. And then guess what? My whole life changed.
You think it started changing?
After 6 months, my whole life changed. And I feel like you could see that, because there were times when I might have had disagreements with people that I worked with.
Yeah.
And I handled it one way that I was not proud of. And then 6 months later, it was like, you couldn't pay me to react that way or treat someone like that in the workplace. So it's like, it was all worth it.
Yeah. And sometimes you don't even know you don't even know it's happening. Like people that are sitting and watching see it happening, right? You don't realize the awakening of the spirit's even happening, in the moment of the things that you're doing, until you maybe somebody makes you aware of it, or until you sit back and look at it, right?
Mm-hmm.
That definitely was the case with you in the in the attitude and the aggressiveness, right?
Mm-hmm.
That took time, right?
I thought that was that made me part of who I am. So it took a long time to realize that I could get my point across and people can still care about what I'm saying, with me still caring about myself and caring about how I'm portrayed to other people.
Yeah. I see. I related to the violent people, to the aggressive piece, because that was me growing up, as a child, as was a teenager, and Travis can contest to this. And it wasn't, it was more because it was just what I thought I was good. I didn't have a good talk game. Right. I didn't have a good, I couldn't I can talk, I can manipulate, but I didn't when it came to cracking jokes, I wasn't good at it. So
don't talk about it, be about it.
Yeah.
Run
So
your
I was
hands.
more I'm more physical, right? I can get more physical and I'm good at it. So that's what I always reverted to when it came to that. When it came to an argument, well, I'll just fight then, or if one of my friends were arguing, well, I'll just fight for them. It was just what I would revert to, because I was never good at that. What about you, Trav? I've seen some awakening of the spirits with you over the past 9 months. I'm sure all of us have watching you.
Yeah, and these and some of them you can tell they're happening when they're happening, immediately afterwards. But then there's some of these things that are hidden, and through the natural strengthening of your inner man, it's almost like they're getting pushed out.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they're almost getting pushed out of you, but they're done in difficult places. So you're still exhibiting behaviors, and a big one for me is rebellion. And so I'm rebellious by nature, but Jesse will explain it as I'm not being submissive, or somebody else will explain it as I'm not practicing humility, which is very hard for me, because
the second one's more accurate.
In one way I suffer from inflated ego, and at the same time I suffer from low self-esteem. And so these two masks will be battling it out. And the whole time I'm in the middle, in a total turned up position where I'm leaving just a wasteland of unmanageability behind me, almost to the point of getting fired and losing relationships, at the whole time still trying to hold on to a pathway. Now I'm doing all this clean and sober. And so a hard place is objectively looked at it's not shooting dope and getting high every day, but it's uncomfortable. And so I know when I'm uncomfortable that I'm going through a growth stage, but as I'm growing through it, it's difficult. And these things aren't done in easy places. I mean, they're done in hard places, but hard is a relative term here now, so it's not as hard as living on the street, but it's uncomfortable. So hard is maybe not the right word, but uncomfortable. But after they happen, you feel a calming of the spirit and you start behaving differently. And so mine would be I combated my lying mask and my bullcrapping mask. I combated that with just being honest, actually having to practice honesty, having to make myself be honest, catch myself in a lie when I'm doing it, realize and become aware that my first response is to lie.
Mhm.
And that even though I'm thinking of it as just messing around and bull crapping, as Jesse's pointed out to me several times, just keep it, it's a lie, Trav. So if I am on a spiritual pathway or a pathway to recovery, and honesty is the most important thing, to honestly take a look at myself and to also be honest. And so just doing that sparked a spiritual awakening of not having to lie all the time.
Travis,
be more
you
authentic.
the way
Mm.
that you just worded that really resonated with me. And I feel like it will resonate with a lot of people because I feel like it was honest and it was real.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Monique, what and trap, what comes from the heart reaches the heart. So like when we are able to like just give it raw instead of like trying to like sound profound, and we just give our
Mhm.
experience. Let me just give you what I've experienced. When
Yeah.
you do that, it'll come right from here. It's going to reach the heart, and that's what really matters, because it's the truth, right? Then we're given, you ever sat in like these groups, I'm pretty, y'all have all conducted groups, everybody in here, which did Barbie leave? One shot, or she
Yeah,
left?
she
Barbie
left.
left. But everybody in here that's sitting in this room is at one time or another conducted a group, right? And when you conduct a group, you might have somebody that's in the group and they might act as if they've been through it and start trying to share all this
Mhm.
stuff, right? Or you might go to a meeting and it'll be on like a certain topic, and they'll act like they've done it already, and they'll start sharing about it, and you always can tell when it's BS, right?
Who's faking the
Yeah,
funk?
right. Just regurgitating something they heard somewhere else, right? But when you really get into sharing like you and your experience, man, it'll reach. You're right, Monique, it'll reach. You can hear it better that way. You really can. So good stuff, y'all, man. Real good stuff, man. Spiritual awakening, spiritual experiences. How do we get through these holidays? I heard Monique say, don't isolate, don't go into the cave, right?
Mhm.
Don't walk into that cave. We're almost through these. Appreciate them, y'all. Like, appreciate them. Know that you're able to be present for them. And sometimes it's hard, but be present. Stay in the moment and appreciate what we have. Because we're able to be present. And if you're incarcerated, don't take advantage of the loved ones out there, right? And know that your time will come when you'll get out, and and you can work on you. I like that. And listen to that still small voice,
That
right?
conscience.
That
piece.
conscious piece. Try to listen to that. Try to dig into that. And Travis said that for him it's almost like every day is the same, but it just so happens we don't treat these as the same.
Yeah.
And that's what I would say. Stay in the moment, have fun, enjoy it. Any parting words, y'all, because we've been on it for a good while. We've been talking, we've been kicking it. I think we need to do this more. We really need to do this
I know.
more, y'all.
I like
I like
this.
this.
This was kind of cool, and I like the new setup.
Thank
I
you.
feel like it's more chill, But I will say this: 2023 has been taxing emotionally, right? For the recovery community. And I might get emotional on this part, but I am so sick of the memorials. I'm so sick of it. I'm sick of it being people that I used to talk to every day, that used to come in here every day and smile, come talk, share laughs. So if you are out there and you feel like you want to use at all, it doesn't matter what it is at this point, just call someone or just come to McShin, because I promise you we're open. We are open 365. We don't take any days off, just like this addiction, just like this disease. And if you feel like you want to use anything, please just don't use alone, or at least please come to McShin.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that, Monique. And look, even if you don't like McShin, out there in the recovery community, even if you don't like somebody that's here or whatever, just know it's a safe place. No matter what, like, it's a safe place. You can come here, you can get connected. We got 26 staff members. Come get connected with somebody, because Monique is definitely not lying when we have buried a lot this year, buried a lot of people this year, and just something on top of that, right? So something that McShin does is we do data collection, and we do it with our alumni, and we track something that most places don't track. Well, I don't think I've ever heard of any places tracking this. And I know treatment centers don't do it. I know some places that I've worked at before, they don't track this, right? But we track people that have passed away as a result. And over the past 2 months through our alumni collections, man, it's been it's been 10 plus people that we've 16 people, right, that have passed away, and they're alumni, so we share that, right? And we don't want to be a down, we're not trying to be Debbie Downer, but we're sharing this with you to let you know that people you die, so don't be that person that dies. Come get connected. If you're feeling it, man, come up here, even if you don't like us, right? Even if you got all this false notions of what we are, just come check it out, right? Because I had a false idea 6 years ago before I started working here of what happens here, and I'm here, and it's totally different, right? God's work happens here. Lives get saved. Come check it out. Trev.
Yeah, man, just sparked off what you are saying right now. It reminds me of like a word, and I love this word. And if you're locked up right now and you have time, think about this word, grace. And when I define it, I always think about it like a bank or a billing place giving you a grace period. And that's defined to me as like more time to get it right, a little more time to get yourself right, a little more time to change your perception. And if you're locked up right now, just think of it as a grace period. Because like you don't want to be one of the people we're talking about. I mean, you want to be alive as long as you can for your family, your friends, for yourself. And so just use this grace period as a time to take a look at yourself. And even if you got to come here, this is a perfect place for a grace period. It gives you time. I mean, it gave me time. And if it's not this place, there's another one. Richmond's turning into a large recovery center, a city.
It's the number 4 city in America for
It reminds
recovery.
me like of the 90s. I mean, the early 2000s in Louisville. I mean, just like very opening, and like a lot of different pathways you can choose from. I mean, here, we got, there's like 5 main ones. I mean, there's 192 of them. I realize a lot of them are fluff, but there's Dharma, there's faith-based, there's SMART, there's NA, there's AA. I mean, and the list goes on and on and on. And these things are tailor-made for you to find your grace period. So just stay positive and know that there is a different way. You might not can see it. You're in murky waters, but there is a light if you walk towards it. And I love y'all.
All right, there you have it from your favorite Martian and us 3 astronauts over here. We're out. Peace.